Hi, it's been a while since I uploaded, but yeah, I know what a lot of you are probably going to expect me to do. You just want me to rip and tear into stands and stand culture, but I'm not going to do that. In fact, in parts of this video, it's going to sound very apologetic to them. But don't click off the video just yet. You'll understand why. Just hear me out. But enough to talk. Let's get into the video. Stands actually have a very interesting origin. In fact, the origin was quite an unfavorable one. The term stan was coined by rapper Eminem, who wrote a song called, well, Stan. In the song, we follow a character named Stanley, who is obsessed with Eminem. At one point, he snaps at his wife when she has to use the bathroom, interrupting him trying to make his hair just like that of Eminem. As the video goes on, we see him take a dark path, writing a letter to Eminem just wishing that he could be noticed by him. There is even a scene where we could see a photo of him and his girlfriend, but he replaced her with Eminem. As the video goes on, we could see that Eminem could not talk to him nor interact with him because, well, he's a celebrity and he just doesn't have the time or a second to stop to interact with his fans. And apparently, even letters are hard to reach because the letter just dropped off the thing. Just like, how could you not notice it and just pick it right back up? I don't know. The video then ends with Eminem writing a letter to Stan, but it's too late. He went crazy, took his wife after she found out his obsession with Eminem, and then accidentally crashes into the river. The video is very well shot, and while I'm not a big fan of Eminem's music, the lyrics told an interesting story. As time went on, however, the term Stan took on a different role. And apparently, the first tweet to be posted of someone standing for someone else was in 2008, when a user posted, "I stand for Santo Gold." The term "I stand" is now frequently used among stans. At this point, the term is a positive term for them and allows them to come together and find each other under the said term. I think it's important to know the origins of the term because some of these stereotypes are present even to this very day. While this is an accurate depiction of many stans, this is not the reality of most of them. More on that later. The event that inspired me to make this video was when Keemstar, like in every doc or video pertaining to the internet, Keemstar is always in the middle of it for some reason. But anyway, Keemstar dropped a video on Twitter with someone named Void. In this video, they went pretty hard on stans, but the video is not what matters. It was the backlash they received on Twitter. The video itself sits at 35k likes and a whopping 135k dislikes. That is a huge margin, especially since the video doesn't even have 1 million views at the time of recording this. The criticisms of the video include accusations of xenophobia, racism, and making fun of a suicide victim. That part is actually true, believe it or not. Stans mobilized and came together, copying and pasting the same comment over and over and over again. And this made me want to learn more about them. Who are they? Why do they consider themselves stans? Why do people hate stans? And so much more. Join me on my journey to discover who stans are and why they are so hated. Stans are known for their toxic obsession with celebrities. The most stan celebrities are Dream and BTS. And some people have informed me of some of the toxic behavior that stans have been involved in. This behavior is usually initiated by edgy humor or criticism of the celebrities or IPs. Even other stans, not very well known, can be seen doing similar practices. The intriguing thing about the individuals I talked to for this video is that they both have a very different background from each other.
I just fuck around on Twitter. That's literally all.
Okay. Sounds good. So what do you mean by that? Do you like troll people or...
Nah, I'm not necessarily a troll unless unless they're asking for it. But I usually just just go around on Twitter and do whatever is fun.
And both came to learn about stans in different ways.
I first heard of stans probably a couple of years ago with BTS.
But somehow have similar experiences from them.
They were just extremely toxic and just like I was in the middle of a fucking like stan war. It was interesting.
These experiences are common for people who criticize stans or celebs. However, after talking to stans, they have similar opinions of certain types of stans. Many, the worst is something I'd rather not say, but there was a time a friend of mine was almost doxxed by a toxic stan. It was a pretty scary day for them. People who make KYS jokes simply scream toxic to me, and also people who simply can't take an opinion. This was an epiphany I had in a way when talking to these people. They talk about how these toxic stans ruin their community and how they make them all look bad. They go through all these reasons, but it's very obvious why they would have a problem with stans like this. A debate has been had for some time now on what's the difference between a stan and a fan. Due to the fact that the term has become such a popular term for people to identify as, some anti-stans would say that they are very much obsessed with their celebs, to the point of stalking or being overly obsessive with their celebrity or idol.
A stan is somebody who, like knows like everything about them, basically just stalks them on social media. A fan is somebody like, for instance, if I were to say, yeah, I like, I'm a fan of his content, and there's a big difference between being a fan of his content and just, stalking his Twitter page or whatever and doing a whole bunch of weird stuff and DMing him, replying to everything he says, just stuff like that.
Stans, however, disagree with that premise. Many of them would say that a fan is someone who enjoys said content, that stans tweet about them and buy their merch. A fan is someone who casually enjoys ACCS content. A stan is someone who maybe buy merch, someone who takes being a fan one step further. I think a fan is a person who watches TMS stuff, but doesn't talk /tweet /comment about that stuff much. There's a bit of a difference, yeah. I think that a fan is someone who just enjoys the content and supports the creator, which is great. A stan, however, I would say is someone who does that, but also likes to keep up with the creator more in depth about their projects and their personal life, that they are comfortable sharing with, of course, and even creating things within the community based off that creator. Some of them admit that stan used to mean a crazy obsessive fan. People typically think that stans are stalker fans because that's the origin of the word, but over time the meaning has changed to really just a super fan. So the idea that all stans are psycho is just flawed, but you can't fault people for holding that position as we go on the rest of the video. Now that I have defended stans for a little while, I want to talk about the toxicity of stans.
The first time wasn't on Twitter. The first time was on YouTube, and it was in the comment sections of a Tumed video. Yeah, he got into a lot of arguments with BTS fans, and I went into the comments, posted one joke about them, and then I just started getting attacked. So yeah.
So what did he do in the video exactly? Do you remember?
There was so many things that he I believe he made a joke about stans. Specifically, he made a meme about them, about the virus, Chinese virus or whatever, that's what he called it, and BTS there. And then all the BTS stans, of course, got mad because they're Korean and not Chinese, so
Were they sending him death threats or anything like that, or?
I believe a lot of them sent him death threats, but the main one that was super duper big and funny was he got a lawsuit from one of these stans.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it just
that was?
Did he post a video about it? Was it just?
Yeah, he did.
Oh wow. Okay.
And he also got a bunch of cease and desist. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, Tumed was literally sent a cease and desist letter from stans. I'm not joking when I say that. This is not the only thing stans are known for. However, there are times when people literally harass their celebs to notice them, or they draw inappropriate images of them, even of minors.
I am sure of it. Boys, I just want to say quickly, on me, and I speak for me and Turbo and everything, all this, I've not been on Twitter very much over the past week, and it has been great. But boys, any of this not safe for work, sex-related fanfic, whatever that is on the Wattpad or on Twitter, I am not comfortable with that, and I do not endorse it. I just thought I'd have to say. I thought it would have been obvious, because because I'm a child, but I thought I'd just let you all know.
The toxic stans tend to worship and idolize their favorite celebs to the point where they come out saying, please stop.
What matters here is that one of my friends is being put up on a pedestal that is so much higher than any person should be put up, especially streamers. We're very, very normal human beings, and it sucks. It really sucks, because if this is not a troll, then someone has gone and taken Cooper's water bottle and put it in their fucking shrine or something. And that is so dehumanizing beyond belief.
People who don't feel comfortable being idolized and worshipped. People who don't feel comfortable being fantasized about in a disturbing fashion. BTS stans tend to also make their PFP one of their idols and constantly post about them, making even weird videos of their concerts. These videos seem stalkerish to some. In fact, many anti-stans believe this as well, even if the stans are well-meaning. I mean, seriously, watch this clip and tell me if you think it is creepy or not.
Dear Slim, you still ain't called a roll. I hope you have a chance. I ain't mad. I just think it's fucked up you don't answer fans. If you didn't want to talk to me outside the concert, you didn't have to. But you could have signed an order.
Personally, I find that a little weird. Many content creators don't want people to live vicariously through them, but then there are stans of BTS or other musicians who take things one step closer to harassing people who criticize said celebs. I've seen people literally non-stop comment or post to one of my friends trying to continue an argument with them simply because he made jokes about stans. I can't show the tweets here because they've been deleted, but believe me, I have seen it. So in general, there is a fear of stans due to the fact that at any moment they could strike and try to get you canceled. But I think it's worth noting that many stans don't believe in canceling people. I don't believe in cancel culture. I don't think it's okay to cancel someone just because they're against someone. I think the whole cancel culture thing is pretty stupid. You don't have to like stans, that's your opinion, but that doesn't mean we need to hear it or want to hear it. If someone got canceled over that, I just say ignore it, and getting canceled over having an opinion is dumb. These stans are some of the most toxic people on the internet. And even some stans have told me of the things toxic people like this have done, such as harassing other stans and fans for taking issue with them and the like. I can't find the DM or the Discord message, so you'll just have to trust me on that. There are so many examples of stans coming out of the woodwork to harass creators. Cases like Keemstar are one of many that can be found. People telling others that they deserve to die or be doxxed and hurt by others. I want to preface, like I have before, that this does not represent all stans. This is the minority of them, but still is a problem that even stans bring up in my conversations with them.
I wrote it on the starter cap. I'm sorry I didn't see you with the show. I must have missed you. Don't think I did that.
If you don't know who Dream is, then you've been living under the largest rock ever created. So he needs no introduction besides that he is a huge Minecraft YouTuber. However, he has a bit of infamy in the YouTube community because of his stans. You see, Dream was probably one of the first cases of celebrities being proudly stan. In fact, with some of the stans I've talked to, this was one of the reasons they really like Dream. I like how interactive he is with his community. He follows stans on his alt account, and he replies to stans sometimes. Dream is interactive with his stans. In fact, if you go to his Twitter bio, or even who he follows, you can see him say Dream stans supremacy. But before I get into the details of his stans, why is Dream so beloved and stanned? When doing research for this video, I decided to watch a lot of Dream's content. And I gotta say, even though I am going to get a lot of hate for saying this, Dream actually makes really good content. Now, hold on. I know what y'all are all doing. Y'all all booing and pitching a fit, but just hear me out. When watching Dream's videos, I realized just how good he was at editing and making a storyline out of his Minecraft Let's Plays. He puts you on the edge of your seat at certain times. Take this scene from his manhunt videos.
It's not easy. If I turn to place blocks, he's gonna hit me.
Just be careful.
No, we don't need to place blocks. We can just use the shield. He can't hit us. We don't need to place blocks anymore. We don't need to even build safely. We can just get really close.
No!
He split me!
Oh my goodness! Ah! I'm getting your stuff. Run back.
Oh
Run back.
my god.
Where are you?
We're so far away.
Where are you?
He
jumped
so far
out!
away.
Notice how the music stops and its suspense builds up. Dream does this multiple times. His choice of music and how the manhunts go are very suspenseful and entertaining. Even some content creators have said themselves how much they enjoyed his videos. To say Dream is not good at his trade is an understatement to say the least, and it makes sense why people love his content and his SMP. Now, there have been some criticism, such as whether or not his videos are fake or his cheating scandal, but back to his stands. His stands have been infamous for being a bit too obsessive with Dream. Some whom have drawn images that are sexual or graphic and gory, and to make things worse, some people like Tommy Innit have had this art made of him. Keep in mind, he is a minor and have spoken up against this practice. Dream stands have been known to cross extreme boundaries, and even some stands admit that there are toxic people in these communities that do that. I consider a toxic stand to be someone who purposely oversteps a CCS's boundaries. This is an issue with stands in general, even with the BTS fandom. A toxic stan is someone who breaks a CCS's boundaries and is just a terrible person in general in the name of said content creator. Like the KYS jokes. That is a toxic stan. I don't even like saying stan since they're not considered one. But the thing is, Dream knows about his stans. And what he does is really nothing. He really doesn't do anything.
Okay, so future Matt here, and I wanted to just say I was wrong, so I had to edit out a large portion of the video. He actually has called out his stance multiple times. He's kind of having like a mental breakdown right now on Twitter because everybody's hating on him for cheating in Minecraft after he admitted it, and so he uploaded like a fan cam or whatever of someone showing all the times he has called out his fans. So I was wrong, and yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I still hold to my position that he could have been harder on all the gore art and stuff, and should have came down hard on that, but besides that, I was wrong.
He then later said that being a stan can be compared to being an obsessed fan of a fictional character or a football player.
I'm a big football fan, and when I was younger I had posters, I had shoes, I had jerseys of my favorite players. I watched all the behind the scenes videos, I watched all their games. My profile picture on Twitter was my favorite player waving the flag of my favorite team. And I looked up to a lot of players, and most importantly, I loved talking to other people about my favorite team, especially people who also loved that team because we could talk for hours. And I know almost every sports fan can relate to this, or even currently does it. But does it sound familiar? That's almost exactly what stans are to me, or to another creator.
And when I heard that, I actually thought, wow, that's true. Stans can be considered like football fans or fans of football players and all that. But here's the thing, Dream. Football fans are also known for doing things like this. So yeah, not the best comparison, I would say, to be honest. One of his other reasons was that anti-stans are worse than stans. So to do that, I'm just going to play a clip. I had an interview with Nugget Bean, and to explain why he thinks he's wrong.
Well, no, because that's just such an it's like such an unconceivable like statement for a couple reasons. And the first reason is probably because there's more anti-stans than there are stans. And I just think that it's stupid to say that, because that means you're saying the majority of people are crazy and your fans are the only normal people.
And here is a stan opinion of that. That's a difficult question. I'd say antis are worse just because they do worse things. I'd say antis are worse just because they do worse things with zero remorse. Like, toxic stans are horrible, but antis will dox your favorite CC with a smile on their face. Yeah, well, anyway, so both sides have been said on this topic. I've already covered some of the toxic things stans have done, but I wanted to talk about what creates a toxic stan. It is obvious that not all stans think alike, but what makes some of them so toxic? I have a couple theories. When I was growing up, I was really into superheroes. I loved them even before they were cool. This was a time when, and even a little bit nowadays, where the Marvel movies weren't seen as cool or good. They were seen as nerdy and geeky, but I was really into it. I was made fun of for, bullied even, for enjoying these mediums, and this was before the internet really took off, so I had nowhere to go. I think that's part of the reason some of these fans are just so toxic. They're tired of getting made fun of for being fans or stans of their favorite band or YouTuber. Even take the Keemstar situation. While I don't agree that they should have gone that far, and you shouldn't be trying to deplatform someone, I can understand their frustration, the feeling of being alone, the feeling of not being accepted just because you like something. The next theory I have is that due to the word that I will not say, there have been a lot of parasocial relationships. While most stans do not have this relationship from what I've been told, I think it is apparent that many of them do, and so they find a social relationship from their celebrity they stan. Due to the lockdowns, people have been feeling more and more depressed, and it wouldn't surprise me if they grow a little too attached to their celeb. This is not to justify their actions, it is just to give a motive of why they do what they do. I think many of us can see why they feel so strongly about their celebs. It helps get a better understanding of them. Stans and anti-stans, or antis, which I will be calling them for the rest of this video, because it's just easier and quicker to say, have been fighting and warring with each other for a while now. Both seem to have misconceptions of each other when you talk to them. The stans say that they are all treated like psychos by the antis. I've gotten some hate messages for standing someone on the internet, but IRL, my friends don't even know my stans. Just usually trolls coming into fan servers as raiders, people doing mass doxings, people making stan accounts with triggering images in hopes of harming innocent people who stumble upon the accounts. However, the antis say that stans generalize them, saying that antis are just haters. It seems that stans overlook the criticisms of antis and just treat them as trolls, while the antis see many stans as crazy. It is important, however, that the antis I have talked to have said things like we shouldn't generalize. So what is my opinion of stans? Well, my opinion is this. Personally, I'm against stan culture. I know I've spent most of the video defending them, but in general, I'm not a fan of celebrity worship. No pun intended. I think personifying yourself or even making your PFP your favorite celeb is not good for you, and I think it's important to diversify your interests and not to be focused on worshiping a celebrity. But with that said, I have met some awesome people, both antis and stans, who are genuinely nice and awesome people, and I hope that this vid will help bring people together. Oh hey, you're still there. Yeah, I did a poor, terrible transition. Real quick, I wanted to thank and give credit and shout outs to some of the people that helped. That being at Nugget Bean, at Techno, and at Sunflower Vol 505. And I wanted to also thank everyone else on here who did not want to be shouted out or credited. You know who you are, so I wanted to thank you for helping me out. And while you're at it, if you're still here, which I'm hoping, click the like button down below and be sure to subscribe, because there's a ton of content hopefully coming soon of different topics, some similar to this and some completely different. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching and have a good day.